Well, hello. We've met before. Margaret Sullivan here. I'm glad you could come up and visit me in my room. I'd love to show my room to you. This is such an important place to me, and I'm enjoying it today on my half day off. Often on my half day off, I'll go out. I'll go maybe across the river to New London and do some window shopping and have a cup of tea, or maybe I'll take the trolley into Mystic, or sometimes as far as Westerly. But today I was that tired, I thought I'm just going to enjoy a peaceful afternoon in my own room, reading a good book, cup of tea on the bedside table, box of chocolates for later on beside me. So if that doesn't sound like a pleasant afternoon, I don't know what does. But let me show you around this place. A room like this, for one thing, I was amazed to get a room of my own, which I never had until I went to work for other people. The house I grew up in Ireland was a happy home, but it was small. So maybe about 3 times the size of this room here, and we had 9 people living there. So you can imagine how crowded that was. Here I have space to move around me. Oh, I don't know if you can hear the wind howling around the window outside. But anyway, I've got lots of space here. I do work for this space, of course. I am paid a salary of $10 a week here to be cook and housekeeper. And I am also given all my meals, 3 meals a day, and all the tea I can drink, which is a great blessing. And then my lodging, my room. And to have a room like this, safe and warm, a place that I can lay my head at the end of the day on a comfortable pillow and not have anything to worry about until morning, that's a great blessing and not to be looked at lightly. As those of you who have ever done without that will understand. I do like the room very much. So let me show you around it. So over here on this side of the room, this is my writing table. And this is where you'll see I've got paper and pens and everything I need there to write letters to my family, so I can keep in good touch with everyone back home in Ireland. And I've got a box here. I sometimes send little gifts back to them, and that's a pair of shoes I'm sending to my cousin Mary, and so that'll be going out in the mail tomorrow. I like to keep this is a picture of my family, my mother and my sisters that I left behind when I came to America, so it helps me to feel a little bit closer to them, to have that picture on my table when I'm writing to them. I can put their face in my mind. And then I have other little decorative things here on the table. Sometimes Mrs. Copp gives me things that maybe she's replacing something, or she's gotten tired of it, or somebody's given her a new gift, or maybe something gets a little chip on it and she thinks she doesn't want to have it out anymore, but it's perfectly good, I think, for me. Like, for instance, this China Easter egg that used to be hers, she gave me that. She said, Maggie, maybe you'd like to have that in your room. And I said, oh, I would. So I admire that. I use it to keep little bits like hairpins and things in there. So, and then over on this side of the room, I have my dressing table. And so this is where I keep in these drawers. I have all my, some of my clothing there, the things that I don't hang in the closet. And I've got all kinds of little things that matter to me on the top. My hat, my gloves, my scarf. This is a souvenir I brought back from Westerly, Rhode Island. A group of us from church took the trolley there last summer, and oh, it was a grand day. We had tea at the Olympia Tea Room, and we rode on the carousel and walked on the beach, and I bought this in a shop that was selling souvenirs as a memento of the day, and I can keep little treasures inside that. It's very nice. It's lined with red velvet. And then maybe you do this too. When I walk on the beach, if I see a really special seashell, I'll pick that up and bring it home as a memento of the day. I've got a lot of seashells up here. I've got my sewing basket over here, and that's really important. I like to do knitting, but also I do a lot of sewing, a lot of hand sewing and a lot of mending. We are provided with our work clothes here, but when I say we're provided with our clothes, what I should say is we're provided with fabric to make our clothes, and then it's up to us to make them. So I am very attentive to that. I always like to make sure that I keep my work clothes in good condition, and I'm provided with everything I need there to do that. I don't have to buy those things myself. Mrs. Copp provides that. And then over here in the corner, I have a very nice upholstered chair. It's upholstered in a velvet fabric that's really comfortable in the evening when I come upstairs and I just want to relax, but maybe I'm not ready to go to bed yet. I can sit there and read. And I even have an electric lamp right here beside my chair. And on my bedside table, I have other things that are important to me. I have my rosary, and I say my prayers, and then I have this picture of my true love Liam, who, God rest him, he's been dead these many years now, but I do still like to keep a picture of him beside me. And then I have my red setter dog, this china figurine that my brother Sean gave me because he knew I'd had to leave my dog behind when I left Ireland, and I was missing him that badly, so Sean gave that to me, and so that means a lot to me, not only because of my dog, but because of the kindness of my brother. They're both important. And then I even have, I'll lift it up and see, hope you can see this. You won't believe this. This is the trunk that I came from Ireland, everything I owned in that trunk. And can you imagine, I couldn't pack everything that I have in this room now into this trunk, but I keep this to remind me of how far I've come and how much better my life is now than it was then. And it's also still useful. I can store some of my off-season clothing in that. And then I've got this really nice bed, very comfortable horsehair mattress, not too soft, not too firm, it's just right. And I've got a nice quilt on it. This is a quilt that I like to have in the springtime, maybe not warm enough for winter when I'd have a wool blanket beneath that. So I'd be really cozy in my bed. And then, but I'm never cold in this room because see this radiator that we have here, this is a steam radiator, and it keeps the room very cozy in the winter, even on the coldest days. And if any of you have slept in an unheated attic, you'll know how cold that can be. It's a bone-chilling cold that just, you can't shake it. So to never have to feel that way is really a wonder to me. An attic, though, can have the opposite problem in the summertime when it can be stifling hot and you feel like you can hardly breathe, it's so hot. But here, we're lucky that we're right facing the river, and I just have to open this window, and every afternoon there's a nice breeze off the river and it cools the room, something lovely. So it's really quite a comfortable place to be. It's my home now. So this afternoon I have a nice time planned, as I told you. I'm going to be having my book, my tea, a little bit of a nap, and topped off by my chocolates. Chocolate is one of the few luxuries I allow myself. I try to put money by every week to save, not only for my family at home, but for my old age. I have to be thinking about that too. But chocolates, I think everybody deserves a treat now and again. So I've got 6 left. I'm going to ration them off and have 3 today and 3 tomorrow, and then I'll be having to buy some more. But and there's only 2 chocolates left in the box, and I know who to blame for that. Annie Murphy. You come in here this minute. I've got a bone to pick with you about my chocolates. All right, my girl, what have you got to say for yourself? I just opened my box of chocolates and I know there were 6 left this morning, and now I only see 2 in here. And I know it wasn't the mice got at them. What have you been doing in here?
I just got a powerful craving. I thought I could replace him before you noticed.
Well, I have noticed. And I'm noticing something else too. What's that all over your mouth?
There's nothing. I just had a jam tart too.
That's not a jam tart ever made you look like that. You've been buying lipstick again, and I told you to keep off those cosmetics. Hand over that lipstick right now.
It's my own face.
Give me that lipstick. As long as you're working in this house, you're not going to paint yourself up to look like a tart. Give me that. I'm confiscating that. You go wash your mouth, and then you get right down to Alan's grocery store and replace my chocolates. It's my afternoon off, and I intend to enjoy it with a book and tea and some chocolate. Oh, that girl. And don't be thinking I'm too hard on her. This is serious business, this lipstick. Cosmetics, trying to make herself look alluring. I know that book's a fantasy that I'm reading. Annie doesn't know about fantasy. She thinks any man she meets, she's going to believe anything he tells her. And look what I forgot to give her this. I cut this out of a magazine. This is warning about the dangers for young girls these days. Men with automobiles, a young girl gets in the car, he drives away, runs out of gas, he says, out in the country, or gets a flat tire, and then there she is. And look what it says here. You must kiss him or get out and walk. Now, I don't want Annie getting herself in trouble. Anyway, I don't want her life ruined because she kissed him instead of getting out and walk. And having lipstick like this, I look at the color of that lipstick. Anybody wearing that is asking for trouble. I'm going to have to hide that lipstick on her. I don't know what to do with that girl. Oh dear. Well, it's supposed to be my afternoon off, and here I have to go worrying about Annie and her lipstick and replacing my chocolates. Oh dear. Where's my book? I got to worry about this waitress and Lord Strathmore's son, who's disguised as a mechanic. I know they'll be married and she'll be rich and live happily ever after. Oh, that tea tastes good. Oh, putting my feet up, doesn't that feel nice? Don't let me forget to hide that lipstick before she comes back.
There's a certain man with money in the bank. The man, I mean, owns a machine, the kind you have to crank. His great delight is to invite a girlie for a whirl in his machine, and I just mean to kind of warn this girl.
Keep away from the fellow who owns an automobile. He'll take you far in his motor car, to down far from your pa and ma. If it's 40 horsepower, good 60 miles an hour. Say goodbye forever. Goodbye forever.
There's no chance to talk, walk or walk. You must kiss him or get out and walk.
Keep away from the fellow who owns an automobile.